Welcome back to the Green Beans Go Extra channel. It's your host, me. I want to talk about Al Michaels and the criticism that he has faced not only last night in the thriller between the Rams and the Seahawks, but that I have seen repeated multiple weeks on end. And I disagree with the criticism, and you may also disagree. You may disagree with me, and that's fine. I want to have a conversation about what an announcer's role really is in the game of football. So we're going to look at a tweet from Warren Sharp, somebody with almost 500,000 followers on Twitter. We're going to take a look at what he calls a devaluation of the play itself based on a lack of juice from Al Michaels. We'll listen to the call, and then we'll just talk about it. And this is Warren Sharp, like I said. He said, on the field, best and most entertaining game of the year. That said, this might be the worst call of an overtime TD I have ever heard. A comical lack of juice from the announcers devalued it. Imagine if this was Kevin Harlan or Ian Eagle on the call. Okay, so let's listen. And I apologize if the audio is going to be a little bit lower. I just apologize.
All year long. Play fake. Stafford fires. Nakua again. Nakua will take it to the end zone. Puka Nakua, 41 yards. All year long.
So here are my thoughts. Was Al Michaels' call lacking something? Well, it depends on what your expectations are. And I would argue that we do not need announcers to be over the top, dramatic, intense every moment of the game. And I realize that in some moments, maybe this one, it is called for to be a little bit dramatic. But I also don't think your enjoyment of the game, or as Warren Sharp alludes to, the value of a play should in any way be related to the announcers. And I quoted this because there was somebody, a big cat. I don't, if you're familiar with Barstool, bless your heart. Yikes! First of all, not a big Barstool guy. Sorry, but Big Cat says in a tweet last night, and he tweets a lot. He tweets a lot. What a call from Al! Goosebumps, right? Sarcasm. This was on the Rashid Shaheed touchdown.
And down the line goes Rashid Shaheed for the score.
And that's a different play. And so that's what I'm talking about. Like this, it's this ongoing criticism of Al Michaels. And in some ways, I am biased because I look back at my childhood, and the voice of Al Michaels is nostalgic for me. I remember Al Michaels and John Madden on Monday Night Football. We didn't have cable. We didn't get watch a lot of games outside of Colts games, right? Back in the early 2000s. And so when Monday Night Football came around on our satellite, we had ABC, and that's where Monday Night Football was. And it was Al Michaels and John Madden. I could watch it till halftime, and it was just everything to me as a kid. And what also was everything to me was the plays, was the players, not necessarily the element of the call. And I guess I'm perplexed at why we need them to scratch this itch that football itself is incapable of scratching. I am not a huge Gus Johnson guy, very popular announcer. People love him. I find him to be corny. I find Gus Johnson to be over the top. I am watching football for the football. In fact, I was having a conversation with a buddy this morning about this very thing, kind of talking to him about his opinion. And I said, some of my favorite things to listen to are the Manning cast. If you're familiar with on Monday Night Football, every so often Peyton and Eli will broadcast the game, and they'll just talk about ball. They'll talk about what's going on behind the scenes, the football plays, and they're not over the top. They're not excitable. They're just having a conversation. And I realize that this is slightly an opinion. It's not slightly an opinion. It's very much an opinion. I get it. Everyone's going to have their bias. Everyone's going to have their understanding. But I feel like we have trickled down into this over-sensationalized expectation of what the announcer owes us in sports. And I think if you can't watch a game muted, that's a you problem. And it takes it back to last night. Kirk Herbstreit, and this is not a criticism of Kirk Herbstreit, who was on the call with Al Michaels. So just understand the nuance that I'm trying to provide here. Last night, Kirk Herbstreit, who is on College Game Day, who is on Thursday Night Football, who is on, he may even appear on Monday night. Like he's got his plate full. And last night it was evident that this guy needs a break. He's wrapping up because he called head coach of Seahawks, Mike McDonald, he called him Mike McDaniels, who's the Dolphins head coach, twice. So 2 different times, Kirk Herbstreit referred to the Seahawks coach as the Dolphins head coach. And then he referred to the Seahawks quarterback, who is Sam Darnold. He called him Sam Bradford. If you don't know who Sam Bradford is, he's a quarterback who was in the league when I was 10 years ago, 10, 15 years ago. And so to me, like, I need announcers, or I would request announcers be accurate. I would request announcers communicate things to me that are actual, factual, and true. And so nobody's talking about Kirk Herbstreit making these errors, because I get it, everybody makes errors, and I'm not holding it against him. And to be perfect on a live stream is an unreasonable ask. I get that, but in some ways that is more offensive, more something to point out, more than Al Michaels just communicating what's happening. And so to wrap this up, I would say, why are we being critical of somebody doing their job? And if you don't think that they are doing their job, like there is something that is required of them, that's not, I think we've lost sight of what matters. I think we've lost sight of the importance of communicating what is going on and letting the emotion of the game impact the fans, letting the emotion that the fans have from it's not, I don't believe it's the announcer's role to control the emotion, to control the narrative. The announcer is there to facilitate what is happening on the fields, which I believe Al Michaels did. But maybe I'm just lame.